Darrow's life takes a dramatic turn when he discovers that the rulers of society, the Golds, have been deceiving the lower colors for centuries, and that they live in luxury on the surface while the lower classes suffer. Seeking revenge for the loss of his loved ones, Darrow of Lycos undergoes a transformation to become a Gold through surgical alterations and advanced training. He infiltrates the Gold's elite society, aiming to dismantle it from within and spark a revolution. What is up, everyone? I'm the Midnight Chronicler. This is Red Rising. I'm so pumped to tell you guys about this book and to recommend it to you and give you my likes, my dislikes, and to ultimately score the book 1 out of 10 to see where it lands. Let me give a really insultingly simple but accurate example of what the main character is trying to accomplish in this book. Yeah, that's basically it in a nutshell without all the details, but let's get into some of the details. Let's start off on a high note. You guys want to get a quick idea of whether or not you'll like this book, right? That's why you're here, I presume. So let me know if any of the following scenarios from this book sound even remotely interesting to you, okay? So how about a moment where two complete strangers cordially meet, seemingly become friends, and then are forced to kill each other the next moment? All right? How about this? The main character lives in a society where family members have to help in the hanging of their loved ones because the gravity on Mars is not enough. So you must pull the feet to break the neck of your loved one. How about one of the coolest sci-fi weapons that you've ever heard of since the lightsaber was introduced? An incredibly sharp sword known as the Razor that can collapse into a whip at the press of a button, or in the same token, at the same press of that button, turn back into a sword. Not to mention, this weapon is a symbol of high class and is wielded by golden armored Power Ranger slash Iron Man looking bio-enhanced race of super people. Yeah, that sounds like a wonderfully brutal mix, doesn't it? But it's not all. Before I get to more of the good, let's get some of the bad out of the way so we can kind of end on a high note. How about it? So the pacing of this book is fast, sometimes a little too fast. The ending in particular wrapped itself up so quickly that it sort of felt like, I felt like Pierce tried to fit in 100 pages worth of story into about 30 pages. Another issue I had was I didn't see all the twists coming, but a few of them I did. And while I guess that's sort of rewarding in a way, it's also kind of disappointing. Now you'll also notice that actually if you flip the book open quick, some of the recommendations will compare the book to The Hunger Games. The Hunger Games comparisons are completely unfounded, but I am not a Hunger Games fan, so it was tough to sort of erase that thought from my head whenever I was reading. But finally, don't get me wrong, the main character Darrow is incredible. He goes through a ton in this book, but I do feel like his plot armor got a little insane at times. He must have had a 4-leaf clover tucked inside his armor beside Eo's flower, but I digress. Let's get back into the good. Red Rising has moments of true book hypnosis. You guys know what I mean by that, right? Those times where a book pulls you in so well that you stop seeing the words on the page and you start seeing the movie play in your mind. There are just moments in here that will consume you completely. Kind of like the moments that I referenced at the beginning of the review here. It's brutal. It's uncomfortable. And this may sound kind of weird, but especially if you played sports before, there's a sense of brotherhood amongst kind of the young men that are in this book, and even the young women that are in the book. And all of that interaction here is portrayed so realistically that it's almost frightening. And I wanted to lead into the dialogue as well to point out quick that this is some of the wittiest and the funniest dialogue I've ever read in a book, period. You literally feel like there is conflict. Even though it's all being written by the same person, you literally are interested to find out what one character will think of another, and the opinions on each other are so varied and interesting, and you never know what you're going to get, which is the mark of a truly, truly gifted author and storyteller. The way that Darrow interacts with those he despises, as well as those that he loves, and those he's friends with, Pierce Brown makes you believe it completely. Red Rising just peels back the layers of our humanity and makes us look at parts of ourselves that we don't want to confront. This book is a real lesson in leadership as well. I think that there are a lot of lessons to be taken similarly from Ender's Game as you could from Red Rising. There's a lot of moments in the book where you kind of get inside the mind of a leadership figure, figure out how they can get all these different people with all these different ideologies and thoughts and opinions and their own wants of power behind a single train of mind and dealing with other people that also want that leadership role. It's really tricky, but Pierce Brown finds a way to display that beautifully in Red Rising. The highs, the lows, the betrayals, the watching your back at every turn. There are some real lessons to be taken from this book. And really, you know what this book is? Just to kind of put it pretty simply, and this is my terminology, no one else has said this to my knowledge, besides the Hunger Game portion, but this book is Captain America meets Cyberpunk mixed with Lord of the Flies and, yeah, I guess Hunger Games. But that really comes together to make a bloody dang good imagination soup, if you ask me. Red Rising is an 8 out of 10 with Golden Sun, book number 2 on the horizon. Cannot wait to read it. That'll be all, everyone. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. Pick up Red Rising if you have not. The book has so much to offer, good lessons to give, and plenty of good times, twists, and turns to be had.